I wrote a block which searches for a word in a list of words. This is the list of words from the game of Hangman, and you can see that it's a list of over 4,000 words, and they're all just in mixed up order. They're not sorted from A to Z or anything. They're just all jumbled up. So actually, let's run this. It says enter a word, and of course I'm going to enter the word pizza, of course. And you can see that it takes a couple of seconds. And it returns pizza is found at position 3538, and there it is. So this little block that I wrote looks for a word. It takes two inputs, find word in unsorted list, and you can see it's kind of peeking out from the end there. Find word in unsorted list, and then the list that I named, that I have here, is called words unsorted. Here it is right here. So this block will look for a word in this unsorted list. Let me put this back in there, and what the block does is it returns the position of the word. In this case, pizza is found at this position. This is the item number. And if the word is not in there, I want this block to return -1, and it does in fact do that. So if I run this one more time, I'll look for a word that's not in there, blah, 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 blah. I assume that's not going to be in there. And notice, blah, 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 not found in list. And this returns the value -1. And so underneath here, I have an if statement. If position equals -1, then join word, whatever the word is, not found in list. Else it says word found at position, position. So your job is going to be to complete this little block that searches for a word in a list that is unsorted. And the way you're going to do this, I'll give you a big hint here, the way you're going to do this is do what they refer to as a sequential search. This is the official name in computer science, and this is a very common thing to do. A sequential search does just what it sounds like it does, is it looks at one item at a time sequentially. And when it finds the item it's looking for, it returns that particular index. So for example, let's say I were looking for the word success, which happens to be in here at position 7. How would I look for success? Well, I'm going to search sequentially. Basically, inside of this block, I'm going to have a repeat statement that keeps repeating until either I find the word that I'm looking for or until I get to the end of the list. So again, I'm searching for success. I'm just going to say, well, is it equal to item 1? No, that's not it. Is it equal to item 2? No, that's not it. Item 3? Item 4? No, no, no. 5? No. 6? No. Is it equal to item 7? Yes, it is equal to item 7, so I'm going to report back the index of where it's found. That is a sequential search, and that's really all you have to do for this. If you have an unsorted list of items, really that's the only way you can search them. It's just sequentially, one at a time. Now, what happens if the word is not in there? Well, if I get all the way to the end of the list, in other words, if my index I gets past the end of the list, if all of a sudden I find that I'm searching for 4,316, oh, wait a minute. Now I've gone past the end of the list, I'm going to return the value -1. So that way I can figure out whether the word is in there or not. And you can see this is going to be a useful thing if you have a list of items. I want to check to see if something is in there or not. Maybe if it's not in there, I'll add it. Maybe if it's in there, I want to remove it. But this is a very common thing to do with lists, is search for something. Is it in there? Isn't it in there? I'm going to have you do one more thing, and actually I start you with this. I'm going to have you use a timer, and actually this is in the part of the code that's already written for you, as you can see when you open up the project. I'm going to have you use a timer to see how long it takes. Now, we really haven't talked about timers a whole lot, but there is a timer, and I can display it, that's constantly running in BYOB or Snap. And it's constantly running. And I can reset the timer just by clicking Reset Timer. And you can see it started counting over again. So what I want to do is put the timer right after the ask statement, right after the set actually. So I'm resetting the timer, and then I'm going to run my block which searches for the word, And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this little chunk of code and paste this one up there. So I'm resetting the timer, and then I'm going to search for the word, and then in my if statement, I'm going to display the current time. So notice it says join word not found in list, and then I have a little time equals whatever the timer is displayed, and then in this case it says word found at position, whatever the position is, time equals blah, blah, blah. So this will allow me, and I'll run it a couple times so you can see what's happening. This will allow me to see how long it takes. So this time I'm going to look for, I don't know, is the word summer in there? I have no idea. Oh, I guess it is in there. Summer is found, and it told me that it took 1.536 seconds. Again, because it reset the timer to 0, but then it started counting again, and as soon as it got to this point, it displayed the timer. Let's try something that's not in there and see how long that takes. Enter word, blah, 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 blah. I guess it's not in there, and that took 2.96 seconds. This part of the code is already going to be there for you. Again, the only part that you have to write is this block, which looks for a word in an unsorted list of words, and then you're going to do a few of these and see how long it takes. I'm just curious to see how long it takes to look for random words in your list of unsorted words. So read the description of the project, and hopefully this will help. Again, the way you're going to do this is by using some kind of repeat statement. I would use like repeat until either you find the word or you've reached the end of the list, something like that. All right, get to work.